pass-through quality of Quest 3S is the one thing I haven't been able to test during the private demo of this headset at Meta Connect. And now that I've finally had a chance to play with it on my own in my office for the whole week ahead of its release, I'm ready to tell you about everything I've noticed that's different about the pass-through quality of Quest 3S and Quest 3. I'm also giving away one Quest 3S, so watch this video until the end to know how to enter. Honestly, mixed reality is going to be the main reason why people who already have a Quest 2 would choose to upgrade to Quest 3S, because visually the virtual reality looks kind of the same, with the same Fresnel lenses and the resolution. But the mixed reality, oh my! To upgrade from the fuzzy black and white mess to this full color pass-through is huge. But what exactly is the quality you're getting compared to slightly more expensive Quest 3? I compared them side to side, but first I tried the Quest 3S, and what I've noticed at first is that I thought that there is much more fuzz in Quest 3S than there is in Quest 3 pass-through. I noticed this fuzz especially in the darker areas of my room, and I thought that the reason for that was the pass-through quality of this headset. But then when I put on the Quest 3, I actually noticed that there is the same fuzz that I probably grew not to notice. So I began to think why it became more noticeable to me in Quest 3S, and the reason is actually the lenses. The fact that Quest 3 has pancake lenses that makes everything look very sharp, that actually includes the pass-through. Pass-through looks a little bit sharper there simply due to the lenses, in the way that it's projected into your eyes. But in reality, it is still the same fuzz. So really, the actual pass-through quality with those cameras is the same when it comes to fuzziness and even to the distortions. In fact, right here, you can see more distortions here in the camera as I was recording than I was noticing, because it was somewhat more to the periphery, and those kind of distortions were barely noticeable to me. But this video captures the whole range of it. But essentially, there was the same level of fuzziness and distortions on both of them. It was still very low. So really, the only difference you'll notice with that is due to the Fresnel lenses that make things by definition a little less sharp. But more specifically about the way the world appeared to me in that pass-through, I've noticed that the colors were more true to life in Quest 3. The Quest 3S sort of displayed everything in a slightly more saturated way, and especially in my room, I saw that the light that I was using kind of looked much more yellow than on Quest 3. And this yellowness wasn't really the way my room looked in real life. The colors looked more dull on Quest 3, which was also more true to life. So I don't know why there was so much yellowness when it was displayed through Quest 3S, but that part was really noticeable as a visual difference between Quest 3S and Quest 3 pass-through. You can see that I'm actually showing you both the recordings I did natively in these headsets and also through the lens. You can also see that recording the through the lens footage was a different experience for Quest 3 than it was for Quest 3S, as my phone was flickering like crazy when I was recording the Quest 3 footage compared to Quest 3S, where it looked better. But of course, the flickering you see of Quest 3 footage right now isn't present when you're looking through the headset. It's very easy to notice all the distortions of Fresnel lenses when I'm showing you right now. Recording through the lens footage, moving the camera around shows how much warping exists just because of these Fresnel lenses. In contrast, the pancake lenses maintain this edge-to-edge clarity. No matter how I move my phone, it stays sharp and clear even on the edges, and there's absolutely no distortions noticeable whatsoever. That speaks louder than words about the clarity of the Quest 3 headset and the difference that the lenses can make. And one more difference that I've noticed that was kind of surprising to me, and I didn't expect it, was when I was looking at these bright lights, bright neon lights, a gift from Asgard's Wrath 2 developers. I saw quite a lot of flickering in the pass-through when I was looking at it through Quest 3 pass-through. Not Quest 3S, but the Quest 3 that I assumed to be a better one actually had a less appealing image to me when I was looking at this light. It was flickering a lot when I was looking at it from the distance, but then when I brought my head closer to it, it stopped. But then it would go back to flickering when I would move my head away. There was a little bit of movement in that light when I was looking at it through my Quest 3S, but not as much and not as noticeable as on Quest 3. And it would also go away if I moved my head closer to the light. At first I thought that maybe the reason was the refresh rate, because the refresh rate is somewhat lower when you're turning on the pass-through quality, and that could interfere with the way that these lights are being processed through the pass-through. So maybe the refresh rate was slightly different between Quest 3 and Quest 3S. But it's also possible that Quest 3S is simply better at processing these flickering lights like LED lights or neon lights than Quest 3. And I think that this is a big plus for Quest 3S, because when you're playing mixed reality games and you have bright lights inside your room, then you will not be distracted by this flickering, and the whole experience might be a bit more immersive for you, surprisingly so. So things are actually much better for Quest 3S than I initially thought. The actual quality of Passthrough is on par with Quest 3, with the exception of the not so accurate colors. And the image does look sharper and more true to life in Quest 3, to the big extent due to the pancake lenses packed in Quest 3. I've heard people saying that Passthrough quality of Quest 3S is somewhere in between Quest 3 and Quest 2, and I radically disagree with that. Because in Quest 2, we're talking about extremely fuzzy and distorted black and white Passthrough. And here, we actually have a full color, rather sharp, with very little fuzz and very few distortions quality that is almost indistinguishable from Quest 3, unless we're talking about the way it is visualized to you through the lenses. But the camera is actually doing a very good job with that, and you will be really enjoying playing mixed reality games on Quest 3S. It is definitely much closer to Quest 3 quality than Quest 2. That's why I started by saying that most people will be upgrading to Quest 3S because of the mixed reality experiences, because this is the single biggest upgrade that you will get with this that will be instantly noticeable for you. Let's also talk a little bit about the depth sensor, because Quest 3 has one and Quest 3S doesn't. But that doesn't mean that the Quest 3S isn't capable of scanning your room and understanding where your furniture is, or scanning, you know, all the features inside your apartment for mixed reality games. It simply means that it uses different technology, which is somewhat more affordable, and in general, the depth sensor is only required for your initial room setup. Unlike Quest 3 that uses the depth sensor, Quest 3S uses 2 infrared lights. You can actually see them right here glowing in the reflection. So again, when you talk about quality, it really surprised me at how similar that experience was compared to the experience on Quest 3, but still, of course, keep in mind that the lenses make a difference and the resolution makes a difference. But the good news is that you get used to this very quickly. So unless you have something like Quest 3 to immediately compare the visual quality to something, well, very obviously better, then you will not be bothered by this. So really, it's clarity, clarity, clarity. That's the main thing. This expands to both the virtual reality experiences and mixed reality experiences. The fuzziness is still there, the warping is still there a little bit, but it's not worse. The only thing that's worse is the visual representation of everything that you see there because of the lenses. I've said it many times. I just want you to understand that that's where the real downgrade is. Oh, and the one thing that I've noticed as I was recording through the lens is that this headset doesn't have a proximity sensor. A proximity sensor means that essentially when you're putting on the headset, display turns on automatically, and then when you remove it, it turns off automatically too, because it understands that your face isn't there. The lenses sort of stay on, there's no sensor, and the headset is just going to stay on until you click on this button and turn it off. You just gotta remember this, because if you don't click on this button, then the display is going to stay on for quite some time and it's going to be draining your battery. Not having the proximity sensor means that you will probably forget clicking on this button and your battery is going to drain much faster than it normally would. At the end of the day, I still can't wait to jump into my Quest 3, which has the sharpness that cannot even compare to Fresnel lenses. But that's the thing, because I already own this, there's no reason for me to be using Quest 3S. But if you're upgrading from Quest 2, or if you're a brand new VR user who just wants to see the best VR quality that you can get for the least amount of money, then this is the best headset for you. I'm definitely going to be recommending it to my friends. Quest 3S for $300 is the best introduction of someone to VR, especially to mixed reality, because it's really the most unique way to experience VR. I also want to make a gift of one Quest 3S to one member of the Discover community, and to enter, simply subscribe to Discover Tetiana and in the comments tell me why you want to get Quest 3S, and of course add a hashtag I want Quest 3S. The winner is going to be announced in the community section of my channel on this date, so make sure to subscribe and allow notifications so that you don't miss it. If you do want to see my full review and thoughts about Quest 3S, then please watch this video that I made when I was at Meta Connect, and I covered everything I think about it and everything that's worth knowing about why this headset is so important in 2024. I'll see you there!